The Committee to Recall Sheriff Jerry Hatcher has created this video series where we break down the 8 counts of the recall for Sheriff Jerry Hatcher and explain the evidence supporting each of these counts. The second count that the courts were asked to rule on is that Sheriff Hatcher tampered with physical evidence by directing the distribution of ammunition that was potential evidence of his own alleged unlawful acts. This count is a direct follow-on to the discovery of the 14 cases of county ammunition in the garage of the home where the sheriff lived with his estranged wife. On January 13, 2020, officers from the Kennewick Police Department collected firearms and ammunition from the home of the sheriff's estranged wife. The sheriff was court-ordered to surrender all firearms and ammo as part of a protection order. During this process, the KPD officers noticed that 2 of the guns and 14 cases of ammo belonged to the Benton County Sheriff's Office, which they turned over to the sheriff's office that same day. When the ammo was received, Commander Caughey placed a note on it indicating that it was not to be distributed. Commander Caughey then set the ammo to the side and did nothing with it because he believed that it could be evidence of a crime. On February 5th, Sheriff Hatcher spoke with Commander Caughey and asked him what guns and ammo had been turned over to BCSO by KPD. Commander Caughey let him know that he had received 2 long guns and 14 cases of ammo. Sheriff Hatcher then asked why the ammo was set aside with a note not to distribute. Although Commander Caughey believed that there could be a crime, he did not want to accuse his boss of a crime without a further investigation. So he replied that he didn't know if the ammo was going to be returned to Sheriff Hatcher or not. Sheriff Hatcher then instructed him to put it into circulation and that the ammo was for everyone to use. 9 days later, on February 14th, then Lieutenant Erickson self-demoted, and you can learn more about what happened with that by watching the videos on counts 7 and 8. But related to this, during that meeting, Sheriff Hatcher was informed that the ammo had been reported to the county auditor and that the taking of the ammo may have been a crime. Immediately after meeting with Sergeant Erickson, Sheriff Hatcher contacted Commander Caughey again about the ammo. In this second conversation, Sheriff Hatcher asked why the ammo still hadn't been distributed. Commander Caughey replied that he had been busy and didn't have time. He also mentioned that he had spoken with the police lawyer, Alan Harvey, because he felt that the ammo had to be reported. So again, Sheriff Hatcher was informed that this ammo was being held as evidence of a potential crime. Sheriff Hatcher continued to push Commander Caughey for information and asked why he felt that it needed to be reported. Commander Caughey then informed Sheriff Hatcher that he believed that there could be a crime associated with the ammo. Sheriff Hatcher's response was that Commander Caughey was mandated to report to him. During this conversation, Sheriff Hatcher again repeated his instruction to distribute the ammo. The primary issue here is that Sheriff Hatcher knowingly and intentionally ordered his subordinate to get rid of evidence that was potentially associated with a crime and that he is the alleged perpetrator of. Evidence forms the backbone of cases, either convicting or exonerating an individual. There are many laws, rules, and policies that deal with preserving the integrity of evidence. With Sheriff Hatcher's law enforcement experience, ignorance is no defense. It has been argued that directing the practice ammo to be put back into stock for use after it was inventoried and logged was not illegal. If one were to assume that Sheriff Hatcher had no idea that his possession of the ammo was problematic, then that argument would hold true up until February 13th, 2020. However, on February 14th, Sheriff Hatcher was informed by multiple individuals that the ammo was being held as potential evidence. Sheriff Hatcher's directive on the afternoon of February 14th instructing Commander Caughey to disperse the evidence of a potential crime committed by himself is an unlawful action and is an attempt to use his authority to cover his own misdeeds. It has been suggested that Sheriff Hatcher wasn't issuing a directive. This doesn't pass the reasonableness test. When a reasonable person is told by their boss to do something, it is taken as a directive. And when the boss calls only to talk about that particular topic, a reasonable person does not take the comments as offhand suggestions. When it is the second time the boss directs this action to be taken, again, the reasonable person assumes that the task given is a directive. With all of the scrutiny that law enforcement is under, do we really want a sheriff who disregards protocol and issues an unlawful directive in order to protect himself? This kind of behavior provides ammunition to those who are attempting to undermine our law enforcement agencies and to remove constitutional sheriffs in favor of appointed ones. The directive to disperse the ammo is a clear example of malfeasance and is in violation of his oath of office. This alone is grounds to recall the sheriff. You can find all the supporting documents for this count on our website at www.recallsheriffjerryhatcher.com. This video series was paid for by the Committee to Recall Sheriff Jerry Hatcher. Top contributors are the Washington State Fraternal Order of Police, the Benton County Deputy Sheriff's Guild, and Kathleen Werschke.